Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Fresh Sleeve of Bariatrics. I'm your host and certified holistic nutritionist, Kristen Tinsley. How is everybody doing out there? I am hoping that everyone has found a way to adapt to this new normal of living, however it's going to be. I have my own personal story with everything that had happened. I feel like I could finally kind of take a breath where I've finally been able to catch up on everything that I've been meaning to do, everything that I have been trying to do to keep myself active and to keep myself on a even keel and also to keep my eating in check. I have to admit that when this first happened, I wasn't fully aware of the impact that the virus was going to have on everybody, and I didn't realize how quickly it was happening. And I had been away doing something. I was out of my house for 3 weeks, and I just was not prepared. And I literally stood there in the food store. Everybody was panicking. Everybody was kind of like just like going crazy and buying all the food. And I stood there in the food store, and there was literally nothing left. There was no meat left. There was nothing. And I immediately felt like I did when I was 525 pounds and I had been stuck in the house and I was just eating all this junk food. And I thought back and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have a job to go to. I'm going to be in the house. And that is definitely one of the triggers for overeating. But I drew on all of the changes that I had been making over the year of having gastric sleeve surgery. And I said, I'm not going to let this destroy my life, and I'm not going to let it destroy all the progress that I have made so far. So I made a decision right then and there, put the shopping cart down, go home. I had just bought a really big book on how to become a vegan from the health conference that I had attended in Huntington, The Truth About Food. I bought Brenda Davis's book, How to Become a Vegan. And I knew that I wanted to try vegetarianism and veganism as a way to kind of give my body more nutrients and bring about the healthy changes that my body needs as it recovers from obesity. So that's exactly what I did. I went home and I poured through that book and I said, you know what? I have enough food in the refrigerator to get me through the night. And I will be going to the food store tomorrow to buy new stuff. And just like that, I switched over to a vegan, vegetarian diet and I have not looked back since. And I feel great. I lost another 30 pounds and I feel wonderful. So now every day I find new recipes to post on my Instagram. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, you can find me at the Fresh Sleeve of Bariatrics, where you'll find all my recipes and pictures of food that I make, and you can keep up with all the workouts that I've been doing because I have literally been working out every day. I feel stronger, I'm in a good mood, and I certainly feel productive. And I hope that all of you out there, all my bariatric beauties, I hope that you are doing the same. So today, let's get to the topic of the show. It's all about communication, which is definitely something that we are all kind of a little bit confused about as everything's going on in the world. But at least there's one thing that I can show you, and there's one thing that I can teach you about how food that you eat communicates with your body. So we're going to be talking about that, and I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on how to actually burn fat through breathing and by drinking water. So let's get into it. um, your body, think of your body, specifically your fat cells, as the hard drive of your body where things get stored. So when you're eating things that are typically considered to be unhealthy, processed carbohydrates, sugars, all kinds of different oils like cottonseed oils, and all types of oils that aren't exactly, they're highly processed and most likely rancid. Imagine the messages that your body is getting. And most people don't notice those messages or answer those messages until we actually see them in the form of an excess of fat in our body. So think of it that way. When you give your body the right kinds of communication, you're telling it how to use the messages that it's getting. The fat cells are very interesting. There's all different kinds of fat cells that we have in our body. We have white fat, we have brown fat, we have beige fat. I mean, why can't we have purple or pink, right? You know, make it a little funky. but it doesn't work that way. There's all different kinds of fat, and I don't really want to get into the scientific aspects of what the fat does, but the most dangerous fat that we need to be careful of is the visceral fat. And I'm sure that you've heard about this going through your bariatric journey, going to, if you have a good nutritionist that had a scale that was actually, that could weigh your visceral fat to tell you if it's going up or down. There's all different ways of measuring it. But the more that's the fat that hangs around in the stomach area, that is the hardest to lose, unfortunately. And it is also the most dangerous to have because it literally wraps itself around your organs and it wraps, not yourself, I'm sorry. It literally wraps itself around your organs and it can cause a problem. And everybody has this kind of fat, whether you're really, really skinny or you're really, really overweight, everybody has visceral fat. And you usually get that by eating processed carbohydrates and excess amounts of sugar. So the best thing to do for that, for visceral fat, it's not impossible to lose. I'm going to take that back. It's not impossible to lose. It is 100% easy to lose if you give your body the right communication when feeding it foods, and you're also exercising and you're doing the exercise that's best for you and your body at the stage of life that you're at. I can't tell you that. I've been going through all different kinds of exercises because YouTube is literally a paragon of information of all types of personal trainers, chiropractors, doctors, all kinds of fitness gurus, all kinds of people that are on there that can give you different types of workouts. And I very strongly encourage you to pick up your remote, download the YouTube app and get on there and start working out because that is the best thing. Yoga, Pilates, low impact HIIT workouts that are easy on your knees, all that stuff. And I'm definitely going to be posting some modification videos that I've learned along the way because when I started my journey at 525 pounds, I got on a kickboxing mat and I definitely had to learn how to modify exercises around my body and the aches and pains that I got just from being overweight. So when you eat an apple, your body knows what to do with that apple. It takes all the nutrients inside that apple and it says, okay, well, I'm going to use the fiber for this, I'm going to use the sugar for this, and I'm going to use the calories for this, and I'm going to use the nutrients for this. It knows what to do with it. As opposed to if you were to eat a slice of apple pie, the body's like, well, I really don't know what to do with this. The only thing I can think to do is turn it into sugar. Okay, but what happens when we have an excess amount of sugar? And we know that when we're dealing with food addiction and we're dealing with obesity, we tend to eat these types of foods and calories in abundance. So when you have all of that abundance happening, not only are you giving your blood sugar a roller coaster, and when you do that, you're causing your body to store more fat. When your insulin drops is when your body is actually able to burn fat for fuel. And that's what you want. That's what you want to do. So another way to help your body to burn fat is by keeping your insulin levels low. If you're a diabetic, you should know how to manage your insulin. If you're insulin resistant, that could be a little hard to kind of get over, but it's not impossible. They haven't exactly quite figured out a way to combat insulin resistance, but insulin resistance has a strong connection to the visceral fat that's there. And I've noticed definitely for myself, once I switched over to a plant-based vegan diet with no dairy, no animal fat, I was actually able to notice that my stomach muscles were getting stronger when I worked out, but my stomach was also going down. It's starting to shrink, it's starting to pull up. So that means what I'm doing is good. That may not work for you, but you have to try and see what works. But I know overall in general, because I knew about doing a vegan vegetarian diet way back in the day when I was in Nassau Community College, and I had a wonderful professor who I took his class in human nutrition as a science requirement, and he really put up a really good case to switch over to a vegetarian vegan diet. So I had done that before in the past, and I knew that I had great results from doing that. So I encourage you to definitely try, if not for a week or 2 weeks, especially considering the fact that right now we do have a meat shortage that's going to be happening. And listen, there's no reason why you can't look up or email me or hit me up on Instagram and ask me, hey, Kristen, give me a good recipe for a plant-based diet, because that's definitely going to help to clean things out. So when your body burns fat, And I know that this is a shady subject with bariatric people, and I completely understand. When your body burns fat, the fat just doesn't burn off and just disappear. It's not like it just goes away in thin air, or does it? I'll get to that later. When your body burns fat, it gets released into the bloodstream. Inside fat is a storage of all kinds of excess calories, it's environmental toxins, it's hormones, all kinds of stuff. So if you can think back to when you first had your surgery, how did you feel? You felt out of whack, right? Everything just went away. If you're a woman, your menstrual cycle was probably thrown off, your hair started falling out, your skin started looking awful, everything just started to look like ugh, and you definitely didn't feel well. You felt off balance. And for men, I'm sure the same thing happened for you as well. Why? Because our fat cells store all of the bad information that has been stuck in our body for years. And the best way to clean that out is by drinking water. I know it's hard to drink water when we have a stomach that's so small. And I'm not promoting one brand over another, but I've had the most success with being able to drink the most water when I drink Poland Spring. I don't know what it is with the pH level of that water, but it just seems to work. I don't get acid reflux. I don't get a burning in my throat. I'm actually able to drink that and hydrate my body. And I know that that's definitely a struggle that we deal with every day because it's hard because we have to wait a half an hour to drink in between meals, and it just kind of seems like we're playing nurse to between eating and drinking and struggling to get the calories in and the water in, but you just have to. And that's the beauty of a plant-based diet because you can actually get your nutrients and your calories and your fat in smaller amounts that fit into your stomach that are actually nourishing your body all day long. So when you're drinking that water, you're pushing it through your digestive system along with these nutrients and cleaning everything out. Because our liver, our digestive system, all of that stuff is all responsible for cleaning out our body. And that's the goal here. That's what we need. That's what we really need to do. We really need to get that release. Okay? So, two ways that you can get rid of fat in your body, okay? And how we can communicate to our body that it's okay to release fat. And there's definitely one thing that I know that a lot of people that have had bariatric surgery struggle with. I still struggle with myself is eating enough food. I know it's hard to eat as much as we're supposed to. We're supposed to eat 3 times a day. We're not supposed to be snacking. I know sometimes it's easier to get those snacks in because it's just smaller. It fits in our stomach. What is a snack? It's usually probably a mushy food, or like my go-to was, for a long time was chips and salsa. And I would just sit there and eat, chips and salsa because I didn't want to eat food. I wasn't really particularly interested. I mean, I remember when I first came out of surgery that I was eating peanut butter and cheese because that was the only thing that felt okay in my stomach. Everything else just didn't fit and just didn't feel right. And I really thought that this was going to be forever. And I'm so glad that it wasn't. But I know that it can be a struggle to get all of that food in. But you have to set the mindset and you have to set the intention that today I'm going to prepare my meals ahead of time, and I'm going to make sure that I am armed with the best defense to make sure that I'm getting in my calories for the day so that I don't have to think about it. And set up a system as to when you're drinking water. That's the easiest way to do it. If you get up in the morning, the first thing that you should do in the morning is definitely drink 8 ounces of water. And then get ready, do whatever you got to do, eat your breakfast. Half an hour later, drink some more water. And you just kind of have to do that all day long. You just have to get yourself into a system of doing it because you have to make sure that you're cleaning out all the toxins that are being released. Because even though we may not see it right away and all the time, just by having bariatric surgery, you're losing weight right now. As you're sitting there watching me, you are losing weight right now. Your body is shifting, your body is changing. Things are going back into place. Think of all the years. I've been overweight for for over 30 years. So I can't expect my body just to snap back and everything to go into place, but you have to give it the best nutrients and the best food so that your body communicates with itself and it says, okay, well, I can fix this and I can fix that. If you keep dumping your body with garbage food like snack cakes or potato chips and ice cream and all different types of processed things, it's never going to heal itself. I know that food is food, but some foods are just not structured to communicate with our bodies the right way. Because if they were, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be having this conversation. Always keep in mind that you need food to survive, yes, but you also need food to live. There's a difference. Most people eat food just to survive. The foods that are out there have enough nutrients in it to keep a human body going, but it's not really enough for us to live. That's the thing. That's the difference. You can eat food for survival because you're not hungry and you're just surviving, or you can eat food to live so that you can live longer and live a more prosperous life. So you can fix the damages that have been done to your body from all the years of obesity. Another cool way that I learned today, actually, I was doing a little bit of research about breathing because I have been taking a lot of different yoga classes. And I noticed when I breathe better, I am actually able to access my metabolism to make it work faster. And then I can actually burn fat. Did you know that burning fat is just as simple as drinking enough water and breathing? Now, everything else, don't disregard everything else I just said about eating a proper diet and getting your nutrients and stuff like that, because that's imperative. But breathing, I encourage you, I'm going to give you some homework. I encourage you to go on YouTube. They have a method called crocodile breathing, which is amazing. This is something that relaxes you. And it also, there's other different breathing methods out there. If you look up breathing methods for weight loss, there's actually a book that's written about it. There's all kinds of stuff that you could do because most people, when they breathe, they're panic breathing. The panic breathing, like kind of like that. That makes your body think that you are in the flight or fight mode. You consistently stay within that fight or flight mode, your body thinks it's panicking. Oh my God, there's something happening. Oh my God. It holds on to everything. But when you teach your body to relax and you breathe from your diaphragm, okay? If you know how to sing, or if you've ever been taught to sing, or if you ever watched somebody who sings, they're breathing from their diaphragm. That's how they're able to project their voice and to be able to sing. If they were trying to sing like this, it wouldn't work. So when you breathe from your diaphragm, you're activating a digestive breath. That's what they call it, a digestive breathing. And that activates your metabolism and your digestive system. And it calms your body down to let your body know that it is okay. There's no threat. It's okay to release fat. Could you imagine what would happen if you did this every single day and you learn to master your breathing? It's not going to happen overnight. We breathe every day. That's what we do to survive. If we weren't breathing, we wouldn't be here. But imagine if you could actually learn to breathe the correct way and keep yourself calm. You're not having stress. Because when you get stressed out, it raises your insulin levels. It causes your body to just go crazy. It causes you to crave foods that you think are going to calm you down. If you're constantly living in that state, you're not going to be able to get any better. Yoga is great for that because it teaches you to control your body and to control your breathing and to connect to things. That is one strong thing that I definitely, when I started out doing the fresh sleeve with bariatrics, is I really wanted to get into the deeper part of meditation and the deeper part of being able to listen to your body, listening to the way that your body communicates. And that's with all things, not just listening to the aches and pains, not just listening, but listening to how your body responds to food, really connecting to when you eat something, how do I feel after I eat this? Not just seeing the end result. Okay, well, if I eat, 25 cookies every single day, for the rest of my life, I'm going to expect all this weight gain, but really notice how you feel when you eat a certain food. Do you notice any differences when you start drinking more water? Because I can tell you right now that when you start drinking more water and you drink the right amount of water, you're going to see a massive amount of fat loss. You're not going to be retaining water. You're going to see fat loss. Your skin is going to be better. Your hair is going to start to grow back. You're going to be able to be more focused because your body is made up of 90% water. I think probably even a little bit more. So if you're not in water, this is another thing that I learned. Water has emotions. Water is the foundation of all things that are living. Everything on this planet needs water. Instead of even the water that you drink communicates to your body in a certain way. Start looking at drinking water as being a positive thing. There's a reason why we have holy water. There's a reason why there's water that's blessed. There's a reason for that because when you touch it to yourself, it's doing something for you. It's blessing you. It's doing something for you. Okay? So when you pick up a bottle of water, and I know this sounds crazy, but as you're drinking it, remind it, this is good for me. This is going to do so many good things for me. Go in there, water, and flush out the toxins that have built up in my cells. Give that water a command. Praise it. I know that you're positive. I know that you're powerful. Thank you for coming into my body and exiting out all the things that do me harm. And take some extra fat cells with it. Definitely communicate with your water. I know that sounds crazy. Just keep it in your head. You don't have to say it out loud. You don't have to do anything like that. But keep it in your mind that it's something that's positive. And it's the same thing with your breathing. Practice your breathing. The crocodile breathing that I taught you about is something that you can do while you're lying on your stomach in bed. It's very easy. It's a very simple procedure. I could explain it to you where you're breathing and you're pressing your stomach into the mattress or the floor and your back is rising up a little bit and you're expanding. Look at how a crocodile breathes. They expand from the side. Okay? That's teaching you to breathe from your diaphragm. It's not teaching you to breathe from your chest. There's a difference. And that is a core key on how to calm yourself down and to keep the stress out of your life and out of your body, and is the entranceway of healing things. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. Another thing to keep the fat in check is to make sure that your blood sugar is in check. And I know that this is a scary word. Most people don't want to take on diabetes. Most people don't want to think, oh, I have diabetes, but it's definitely, and usually when you have weight loss surgery, that diabetes is reversed. If you have it, type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance, but insulin resistance may hang around for a little while after that because it takes a while for that to go away because of all the excess stomach fat. There are natural supplements out there that you could take. I always check with your doctor first. I'm not a doctor, I'm just a holistic nutritionist. But there are definitely things that I have, because I saw naturopathic doctors my whole life because they were the only ones that ever gave me any answers or anything like that as far as how to help and heal my body. You can supplement definitely with apple cider vinegar is a good thing if your stomach can handle it. If your stomach cannot handle it, I would not recommend taking it. There's also lemon water is excellent, 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 excellent for lowering blood sugar. That's another thing that's very high in acidic, so just be careful with that. There's also cinnamon tablets that you can take, or you can just use natural cinnamon in everything that you do, and that's something that you can add to your diet every single day. There's all kinds of different vitamins and stuff out there. You could literally walk into any vitamin shop. I don't know if they're open now. I think they might be. But do a little bit of research and find out. You could walk into a vitamin shop or you can message me and you can ask me what type of supplements that I take that I've had the best results with, because there are vitamins out there, digestive enzymes that we could be taking to help our bodies along the process of eliminating toxic waste from our bodies and also eliminating a lot of the excess sugar that might be in our bodies from the foods that we eat. But the way that you really can do that is by giving yourself a steady amount of carbohydrates throughout the day. There was a breakfast bowl that I recently made. I made it from 5-grain cereal. I had pumpkin seeds, I had cinnamon, I had flax milk, and I had a little bit of banana on there. And it was the most delicious thing that I've ever had. And most people would think, oh my God, that's too many carbohydrates. They would look at the 5-grain cereal and they'd be like, oh, there's 27 grams of carbohydrates. But if you deduct the fiber, which there were 3 different kinds of fiber in there, you're basically left with almost nothing. I think the entire between that and the carbs from the pumpkin seed, but pumpkin seeds also have fiber in them, so you can deduct that. I think the entire breakfast bowl was only 18 grams of carbohydrates, which is excellent. And if that's the one meal of carbohydrates that you're going to have the whole entire day, I would think that is definitely perfect. I think that you should be having more carbohydrates because your body actually needs carbohydrates to function and to burn fat. You could not just stay on an all protein diet. And that is a totally different show and the next show that I have, I promise you, I have found a book written by a bariatric doctor who is against eating meat only, and he's a bariatric surgeon. So I'm reading everything that he's saying, and I really want to see how he's applying his newfound glory of being a vegetarian and a vegan to his bariatric patients and see if it's actually helping. He wrote a book called Protein Holic, if you want to check that out. I'm still in the midst of reading it, but any information that I get, I'm more than happy to share with you bariatric beauties, because I really feel that the field of bariatric surgery is not done yet with how we are actually going to be able to help people. And I get so many people reach out to me and say, I need help with this. I've fallen back into my old ways, especially now when we're locked in the house and everybody's stressed out and everybody's going through so much, that people are finding that they're gaining their weight back. And that's something that I don't want for myself. And that's definitely something that I don't want for you. I want you to be able to use this time to come up with a plan, because eventually this will be over and we will go back to whatever normal life is coming up for us next. But take this time now to really focus and really look within yourself and listen to the way your body is communicating. And every single time you pick up a piece of food, I want you to answer a question. I want you to communicate with that food, communicate with your mind and your body. I want you to ask it a question. 3, is it happy? Is it helpful? And is it healthy? And what I mean by that is, how are you feeling right now? What is the emotion that you're feeling? Listen to what the emotion is. If you're in a bad mood, you're probably going to pick up something that's not good. So here we are, we're holding a cupcake in our hand. We're stressed out, the kids are going crazy, world's going crazy, everything like that. Look at this cupcake. I'm unhappy. Are you healthy? No. Are you helpful? No. Bye. That's it. You have to answer those questions, because you have to know how you feel when you're eating something. Because remember, the food that you're eating, like I've always told you, is indicative of the emotion that you're trying to process. So I want you to make sure that you're picking the best foods for you that are going to be happy, because your emotions are happy. I'm very happy to eat this food. I'm welcoming it. And it's healthy and it's helpful. It has nutrients. It's going to nourish my body. It's going to do great things for me. So I have to be on my way. Like I said, you can always follow me on Instagram at the Fresh Sleeve of Bariatrics if you have any questions, if you want to follow my workouts, if you want to get some recipes, if you want anything from me at all. I am a certified holistic nutritionist that works with obese and bariatric surgery patients to help them to live a better life with mental clarity and health. That's what I'm here for. So I will see you next time, and thank you so much for watching, and I wish you all the very, very best, and I'll see you soon.